good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Money Miner on Thursday, the 14th of August. My apologies, we didn't get a recording done yesterday. The internet was down in our office building. It all became a bit chaotic, to be honest with you. Anyway, morning, Paul.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Hopefully this will all work today. Right, we've got a few results out today, so we better rattle through those, I suggest. Let's go first off with the big one, Antofagasta, interim results, Paul.
Yes, interim results for them. Very nice safety record. No fatalities or injuries at all, which is a repeat of 2024 for this same interim period. Excellent safety record there. Their earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization were $2.2 billion, which is 60% higher on a year-on-year basis, and that was driven by almost 30% growth in revenue and a 12% reduction in cash costs. So everything moving in the right direction as far as bottom line numbers here. Cash flow from operations up by 22% to 1.4 billion. And they had a net debt to EBITDA ratio of 0.54, which was up a little bit by about 6 basis points from 2024. But otherwise, full year guidance has been maintained for at least 660,000 tons of copper metal and no changes to cash cost or capex estimates that he had previously made. Cash costs at this time $2.32 a pound, and that's before byproduct credits, and after it comes to $1.32 a pound.
Yeah, look, stock's up about 11p today, so not a huge move, 0.5% or so. Market was expecting to be pretty good. It's been a good performer, though, recently, coming up from about 1,500 to 2,100. And actually, if you look at it, if you just go back over the last sort of 10 years or so, it's come up from 500p or so, though, to 2,100. So it's been a really nice performer. Let's move on to what I would call Capital Drilling, but it's actually just Capital Limited. But it's the drilling company. They also have had results, H1. The H1 are okay, but actually the outlook looks better, doesn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it does. And with Capital Limited here, they had reported in an update on operations not that many days ago that they were looking at much better performance going forward as far as interest for making drilling expenditures and writing the contracts. Total rig count has increased to 133 by the end of the first half, and so that's an increase of 3 rigs, and they have been able to purchase new rigs as a result of that increased performance this year. Utilization came in at 74% on those rigs for their available uptime, which is an improvement of 7% on a year-on-year basis. And the average monthly revenue per rig came in at 190,000, but that is down from a year-on-year comparative by about 7%. Productivity, though, has improved during the second quarter, so it seems to be moving in the right direction. They have raised their group revenue guidance up to at least $320 million, and they have also indicated that with the exceptional items of a $5.6 million impairment, they still expect a better year overall. So things are looking pretty positive at this point.
Yeah, okay. Another one with results is Cornish Metals. Now, Cornish Metals do seem to put out an RNS every day, actually, and we can't talk about them every day. The results themselves really is a follow on to a certain extent from everything they've been doing all year and don't necessarily mean a lot. I don't know if you've got anything you want to add to that, Paul.
I can't say that I do, actually, on that particular item at this point.
No. But then moving around Cornwall a little bit over to Redmoor. It's been a bit of a corporate update by Strategic Minerals on Redmoor, hasn't it, Paul?
Yes, that's right. And they have completed the first hole, and that hole is the core is now being processed to be ready to send the samples off to the lab. They've got 2 more holes to drill from the existing pad, and then they'll move to the second pad as well. With this kind of work, they expect it to be done no later than sometime in the fourth quarter, at which time they will work on a new mineral resource estimate for release in the first quarter of next year.
It's quite interesting because I've been talking to a few people about strategic minerals and also Tamar Resources, because they're the two small little tiddlers down in the southwest of England exploring. And people go, but, if we want to get exposure, don't we go in through, Tungsten West or Cornish Metals? We're going to have big process plants and, they're the big ones. But actually, if you think about it, the fact you need to build a process plant, that's where so much of your cost goes. That's why you have the Lassonde curve and why you have to spend sort of 10 years losing money before you make any, because you've got to go through all this planning permission for a process plant and get it built. And it's just so damn complex. What's neat about the small exploration companies down in Cornwall is they will have two process plants which they can just sell their product to, one at Tungsten West, one at Cornish Metals. So the nice thing about a small exploration company down there is basically you find it, dig it and sell it. I mean, you'll virtually dig it up, run it through a couple of ore sorters to make it increase the grade a bit, so you don't have to truck too much, just plain rock. You won't need to build a process plant. And actually, you'll make far more money probably in the small exploration companies than you will in the big ones, because you haven't got to build a process plant. You've got them sitting there right by you. Very unique in the mining industry to have that, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, well, it is one of those things that it's unique in the developed market, Western world. Less unique though in the emerging and developing markets, because they've been more used to that sort of a production history, and which is still very much the case for many of them.
But tin and tungsten, very critical metals. You can see just from the way that Putin and Trump are talking at the moment in Alaska. Well, they're talking tomorrow. What's Trump offering? Critical metals. The whole thing is about critical metals. We've got loads of it down in Cornwall, probably $40 billion worth. And the way to play it, actually, in my view, is strategic minerals and Tamar Resources. They're both two tiddlers. The upside, though, is vast. There you go. There's a little tip from me. We do act for Tamar. I do own them personally. And on that note, Paul, we'll call it a day there.
Very good. We'll see you tomorrow.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.